Good luck.
What's up, everyone, and welcome to the Game Addicts Podcast, the show where we talk about the modern and retro video games that we play and collect. I'm your host, Brando, and joining me here today as this podcast player, too, is my good buddy, Tyler.
What's up, my dude?
Of course, you can hear Tyler every single Thursday as co-host of Podcastrophe on the Journey into Comics Network feed. Go check that out. And he also has a new podcast.
Podcast Menace.
Along with yours truly. It's exclusive to the Patreon over there at patreon.com/journeytocomics. We nerd out about Star Wars. Go check that out if you so desire. This show, however, we talk about games, and there's a few things I want to adjust right from the get-go. There's some stuff I want to update about. It's been a few weeks since there's been a new episode of the show. We've had some developments and stuff kind of going on behind the scenes. It just so happened that Fool's Week kind of happened during kind of some of this. So Nate and AP took over for last week. And I mean, that's the show they drew, you know. And so basically, guys, what I want to boil down to is that, you know, Mike's got stuff going on in his life. I got stuff going on in my life. And it's kind of difficult to get together during this time. So Mike's going to hopefully be back before E3. I think he told me he's going to be back before E3. As things start ramping up in our other life, you know, it makes it difficult to sometimes come together. Especially mood is a big part of it. You know, you don't want to phone anything in. Mm-hmm. You know, so therefore of course I'm giving him all the time in the world. Go take care of yourself, do your thing, man. And then he's going to be back here before we even know it. So that's issue number one. Okay, so that's out of the way. Number two, where's the video at? I haven't done video for 2 weeks. All right. Well, because, so I did like a best of retrospectives, and it's like I don't have some of those videos. I do have some of those videos, but when I selected what clips I wanted to use, I was going to have to go and then that's a lot of work. Right. So I didn't do it for that one. And then Nate and AP, it was supposed to be in person, and then it wasn't in person. And then it was supposed to be when I was up there. Then it wasn't when I was up there.
That's life, man.
Yeah, it kept getting delayed, and so I said, don't worry about it. And now here we are today. Once again, no camera set up. So basically, once I started taking a good look at the stuff that I've been doing, the projects that I've been taking on, I started looking at performance. And of course, this podcast, it's been kicking ass on the audio side. I'm so proud of it. It's a damn good part of the network, and we're pulling our weight. The video side, I haven't seen any sort of kickback from that or any real growth in that area. I've done 60 episodes. So I think episode 14 was the first one that I actually, or episode 14 or 15, really early on, with no lighting rig, I just put the camera up, and back then I didn't even have a little line out. We used the audio from the camera from the room, and it was just kind of the way it was, you know. And the way that I saw it, if the more that I just keep doing it, eventually we'll break in and maybe get some audience growth. The algorithms of YouTube, however, have changed. They're demonetizing food videos now.
Mm-hmm. They're demonetizing everything. You know, the last 5 years or so, especially, the pimple popping videos got really popular on YouTube. Yeah. Because there's something messed up in our brains, and apparently that's really relaxing. You know,
me and my wife watch those for hours.
Oh, well, I'm not gonna. My wife, there was something weird that happened after she got pregnant with our kid. She can't watch them anymore. I'll tell you right now, I watch Dr. Gilmore every week because that guy's my dude, and it is very relaxing. And a lot of people will say, "Well, that's gross." Tell me you haven't had a pimple in your life. More than likely, you popped it, and it felt good. And it relaxed you a little bit. So hate me if you want. But
there's actually a term, an actual term for people who get enjoyment out of that, and I can't remember what it is.
Yeah, I can't remember it either. But anyway, so I saw him release a video a month and a half, maybe 2 months ago, that they've fully demonetized like medical videos on YouTube, and now gun videos have been demonetized, and food videos, like you just said. So YouTube is in this weird place right now, and I hate that they're doing this to themselves. But you're basically going to drive everybody away.
You are, and the thing is that it's not altogether their fault.
Right? Yeah, I'm not saying it's completely them, but
it's the advertisers, because they don't want anything because a lot of times there's an automatic program that kind of decides what ads go on what.
Right.
And yeah, you have a certain choice in that matter, but ultimately, if dead brand here, but if Kmart has one of their ads on something that they have found offensive, or they don't want to associate their brand with, then they're going to get mad at YouTube and go, "Why did you put my ad there?" And
that's right.
So, but like, long story short, we are going to do video again, especially when we start having more of a continuous, schedulized podcast like we did before, and basically like. We've kind of been up in flux in the last few weeks, which is why the show has kind of happened the way it did. But once we get settled back down, and then especially once we start streaming every week, it'll be a lot easier, especially on the editing side. I absolutely love editing video. I love experimenting. I love doing things. I love learning. I love trying to make good video.
Yeah, you and I have talked about that a little bit. I also love to tinker with video, because you learn very quickly what your limitations are.
Yeah.
Especially in the beginning, and not just your limitations or your creative limitations, but the actual limitations of your software.
Yes.
But as both of those things grow and upgrade, you can do a lot of really, really neat stuff with video editing software. So I've always enjoyed that. With sound, I just clip, stick them together. It's like a PowerPoint.
It's now to a point where podcasting, like editing a podcast, to me is nothing. It is almost to a science, and I got the video down to that too because it was easy. The only thing is that on my program I would have to drag the videos over, drag them down, wait for it all to render all the way across, which can take an hour. If it's an hour and a half show, it can take almost that long, maybe less. Then once that gets done, chop the beginning, chop the end, because if there's nobody up there to hit record for us, we have to do it. So hit record, sit down. When do we start? There was one time we went 29 minutes of utter bullshit before we even started the show, and I had to cut that out, and then go to the end and cut that out. Put it right next to my intro. Put it there.
And that's after you had to render all of that.
I had to render it
so
in
you had
first.
To sit there and wait,
or just set it there and walk away. It's what I usually do.
Right.
And
still,
and actually, you know what? Sometimes I would do that, and then come back to it the next day, and then the next day finish my edits, export. I can't export until I go to bed, because someone else uses that computer, and when you export, you can't do anything else because it slows it down dramatically.
Right.
It really eats up a lot of the processing power. So I'm not doing any more video for the time being. However, over on YouTube, the show automatically gets uploaded by Podbean, so the show's still there.
Yeah, I saw it. I saw AP and Nate's episode this morning, first thing when I woke up. I actually got the YouTube notification before I got the Podbean notification. Yeah.
The episode is still going to be there. It's going to be audio. You can still throw it on. If you're missing us that much, please let me know, because that's going to make me want to do it more often.
Right.
The more interaction I get, the more people saying, "Hey, man, I really want to see this." Because we would bring our pickups and all that kind of stuff and show them on the camera. But that's one reason I'm going to try and really pick up the Instagram side to try and say, "Hey, go subscribe to that. If you want to see what we're talking about every week, I'm going to upload those pictures. That way you can definitely see." I haven't been buying games. I've been really skimmed back on that, and I've been buying music, and I need to stop that too.
I told you the first time that you told me, "Hey man, I'm going to start collecting vinyl a little bit," and I said, "You're going to go down the rabbit hole, and you're going to buy a lot more than you need to," and you're like, "No, this is going to be a lot more subdued."
It actually still is subdued.
It still is subdued
because I'm still
in
working
comparison.
on that same band. I'm still working on that same band because I want two bands where I have, and actually one of them, Joe gave me one.
Did he give you one?
He gave me Black Album.
Oh, hell yeah.
And he's like, I've listened to it like once or twice. You can have it. I'm like, okay.
Right.
Yeah, that's one I don't got to buy, man. Mm-hmm. And it's one of my, I mean, that album is very important to me. I digress. I haven't been buying games. I've been buying vinyl, so.
I haven't been buying anything.
That's what I need to be doing right now.
It's not entirely just because of my self-control. Blaine, Dr. Dongo Tyner, and myself have put in 150 hours plus into Monster Hunter World. And we're so far into endgame right now. It's to the point now where it's like, I really need to take a break from this because I'm getting a little bit. I'm not bored, but it's to that monotony point where now that I've done all this grinding to get where I'm at. That's 150 hours of grind.
Yeah.
Now I need to put in another 150 hours of grind to really be badass. And it's like, I'm not mentally prepared for that right now, and I don't want to burn myself out of a game like that. I did that with Destiny 1. I did that with Destiny 2. I don't want to do that again. So I told you yesterday I actually started a new playthrough of Mass Effect Andromeda, and I'm digging it. I'm enjoying it just as much as I did the first time, and I'm basically just using it as a time killer until God of War comes out in a couple weeks.
We're definitely going to talk about some upcoming game releases for the next month or two. I've just been playing Skyrim on Switch. Like I've been playing probably since January at this point. It's been a very I put in I can't remember how many hours. It's been quite a few. But when I played it last time, I got so far and I got distracted. I haven't done that. I haven't had that game that come out or knew anything. I haven't been allured by any other game. So it just like when I get time to play, the cool thing about the Switch, the kid's watching a movie. I can't play. Yes, I can.
Yes, I can.
Boom.
Yep. I really look forward to that. I told you today that I'm probably going to get a Switch this holiday season, and that especially because my wife and I have separate living rooms, so I have my personal space, she has her personal space, but her personal space is filled with a child most of the time. So now I can come in here and still play video games.
Yeah, you go.
and not be bothering anybody. So
yeah. See, I got my game room, but I haven't used that thing to game in so long. It's crazy. I just use it.
It's just your vinyl room now.
It's my vinyl and podcasting room, which brings me to my last point that I want to make an update here for you guys. For over a year, since January of 2017. In fact, it may have been longer than that. No, January 2017. We have done this show every single week, and missing 1 week for when my dad was in the hospital. I didn't know how long the show was going to be off. It turns out it was only off for a week. There's also a few that I made, like a few best of stuff. Like I'm like, hey, remember those old pickup videos I used to do over on the Journey to Comics YouTube channel? Well, a lot of you guys probably haven't heard those. So what if we turn those into audio form, and you can hear me? We do pickup segments here on the show. I'll just do some pickup segments, and you can hear me when I was first growing my collection. Did that, and then I did the best of retrospectives thing a couple episodes ago. But now, and until we can get back on a more confirmed schedule, back to every Thursday like we've always been doing, as far as recording wise, I think I'm just going to go to like bi-weekly for a little while. And because, number one, there's not always a lot of stuff to talk about. There have been episodes where we have struggled to like get stuff to talk about. As case in point, I spent 45 minutes talking about music a few episodes ago. Number one, that's because what I've been actively collecting. But number two, it's like there's not really a whole lot of news because we're like in this like spot right before E3.
Yeah, we're kind of in the eye of the storm right now.
Right, we're about ready to get bombarded with a whole lot of news.
Well, we're getting lots of teasers for stuff, and it's not consistent. We'll get 3 or 4 things that they're throwing teasers out, and then it just dries up immediately. And then, you'll go 2 or 3 weeks, and you won't hear anything from anybody. You and I throw rumors and stuff like that back and forth normally while we're at work, but it's been really dry here lately because, especially we've got God of War coming up. We've got the Dark Souls remaster coming out next month. We've got all the big blockbuster movie releases that are going to come out in the next month and a half, and that's what everybody's focused on.
We did get a big thing of news. I think it just broke the other day. Of course, as you guys are hearing this, it's been like a week ago.
Mm-hmm.
But Spider-Man for PS4 has a release date, September 7th. And it has 3 different pre-orders. They announced physical, deluxe, digital, and then a collector's edition. And of course, the regular is like $60. The digital deluxe is like $100, and then the collector's is $150.
I'm half tempted to get the collector's edition myself.
I've told myself no more collector's editions because I don't have room. I think the last one I bought was Persona 5. I got that one. This one, the collector's edition comes everything that is in the digital deluxe edition,
mm-hmm.
which I guess I should have looked at what came in that one.
See, while you're looking what comes in it, one of the things that I've been aggravated about, focused in the industry the last couple years or so, like always I'm on a podcast, I can't speak. We have, normally 3 to 4 tiers of pre-order, types, and there's always a digital deluxe edition because they're trying to give us more incentive to just buy digital games so they can maximize the amount of money that they make off of the game.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to manufacture. You don't have the overhead when you're manufacturing the disc. You just, here's your information, download it, and then we get maximized profit off of it. But when games don't allow you to purchase what's on the digital deluxe edition for like $15, Monster Hunter World did a great job. The microtransaction things is a big deal right now, with Battlefront 2, and Monolith released a statement here recently that they were really, that in their mind microtransactions killed their game, and that's nice to see them recognize that they kind of screwed up. This microtransaction thing isn't going to go away, and we really need to kind of buckle down and get it figured out because it's a pain in the ass, and I don't like it. But yeah, give us the freedom to buy that stuff because, like you, I don't like buying the games digitally. I want to have the physical game, so 5 years down the road, I can look back and say, "Hey, man, I'll pop that game in and play it."
Yeah, it also gives you something tangible and something to sell.
Mm-hmm.
If I buy a game digitally, I can't sell it. I can't. The Steam has a refund thing. You can't. I want to say I've heard rumors that maybe Xbox might be working on something where you could turn it back in for like
credit
X amount, probably next to nothing. Probably GameStop levels of.
Well, I was going to say,
I'll give you a quarter.
Do you think Microsoft would give you more or less than GameStop would?
Man, I don't know. But the deluxe, the digital deluxe version, excuse me, you get the full game download. You get access to all 3 post-launch DLCs.
That's cool.
Which includes new missions, suits, and characters, and it is entitled Marvel Spider-Man: The City That Never Sleeps. And then you also get you actually do get something physical. You get a physical pin.
That's cool, like a little enamel pin.
Enamel pin, and it's basically Spidey in the pose that he is in the cover box.
Cool.
So you get a couple of suits. They show you one of them. It looks basically like he's wearing a jean jacket. Maybe a windbreaker. And then you also get a spider drone gadget. You also receive an avatar, a PS4 theme, and 5 extra skill points. And then the collector's edition, it's a big box. You get a white spider sticker. You get all the DLC. You get a statue, which they're not revealing yet.
I like that.
They're going to wait, and probably because they don't have it finalized yet, is what I can think.
But I like that they haven't said, like, in the deluxe edition you get, or the collector's edition, you get a statue of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Thank you for giving me that wonderful bit of information.
And then, of course, you get a steel book, mini art book, and then the same stuff from the digital. For $150, that's not so bad. But, I mean, I just don't have the room for it. I'm super excited, that this game is coming out this year. Mm-hmm. Not that I didn't think it wouldn't, but, I mean, it's sooner than I thought. Pre-orders of any edition come with 3 extra Spider-Man suits. So far, we've only seen Spider-Punk, which is that one. Okay, so the 3 things off to the side, those are pre-order stuff. So if you get pre-orders, you get access to that. You'll probably be able to get that stuff later on. And okay, yeah. So yeah, he's wearing some sort of jacket. He's got like some spikes on his head. Spider-Punk. Just give me black suit, Spider-Man, Scarlet Spider-Man. I found a. Do you remember like Captain Universe Spider-Man?
Yeah.
They had an action figure of that at like my local Walmart.
Oh, damn it!
I'm like, man, I want that thing.
I've got a couple of suits that I'm a big fan of. The like I've actually got the images pulled up here. Of course, the symbiote suit's one of my favorites. The Scarlet Spider's one of my favorites. Mm-hmm. The one where he's like Iron Spider, but he's Iron Spider 2.0, and he's got all the more badass shit. Mm-hmm. And then, obviously, is that $20.99?
Yeah.
That is my second favorite, I would say. But I dig... A lot of times I get really frustrated when games have just a lot of cosmetic stuff that costs, real money. It's like, why not just give me a way to unlock this in the game?
Well, they have said this game has no microtransactions.
And you told me that today, and I was really happy to hear that.
Like, obviously, they're doing some DLC and stuff like that, but the suits, you get a couple of pre-order bonuses, so you'll probably get to buy those later. Mm-hmm. So those will probably be like the ones that are, maybe they'll do a pack later on. They're like, okay, you guys got those, because the Arkham games did that too, where you had a certain set of them in there. Well, not the first. I think the first game only gave you one extra one, but then like the second game, I remember the game, Arkham City came out, and I saw a post on Facebook or something. It's like, hey man, if you go buy a what are they called? NOS energy drink. Mm-hmm. You can redeem the code underneath the tab on their website and go download the Batman Beyond skin. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I put the game down and went right to the gas station down the street. Mm-hmm. Got that, and I'm like, Batman. Yes, Batman Beyond. Batman Beyond. Batman Beyond. And then you can't activate it until you beat the game.
Yeah, I love it when companies do the cross promotion stuff, especially with the download codes, because I'm spending $3 and I'm getting something that isn't going to affect the game. It's purely cosmetic, but it's something that I get to nerd out that much more, especially something like that. The Batman Beyond suit,
and they made it work to a point where in the Arkham games, when you jump off a building, you press the button again to glide.
Hell yeah!
And of course, the Batman Beyond has no cape.
Mm-hmm. So it's just the little wings.
And they actually come out.
Hell yeah.
The little wings come out. And I'm like, they don't come out of his arm like they do in the cartoon, but they just come out of his back and they line up with the arm.
That's all right.
And it looks awesome.
Yeah, I the last couple of years, we've kind of gotten away from that. Or a lot of, I haven't seen it near as much. Other than things like Gears of War did it with Doritos and all kinds of shit, and Call of Duty always does it. But, you think back...
Double XP.
Yeah, you think back to, like... when Halo 3 came out, all the game fuel shit. Yeah. And I would like to see more of that come back.
I think I just saw... Wait, no, I'm wrong. Dr. Pepper just teamed up with like Jurassic World 2 or whatever for their thing.
That's cool.
But like, like the game fuel would do World of Warcraft. They did that one. Then of course you have your Call of Duty, and then... Mass Effect. For Mass Effect 2, they did it with Dr. Pepper. I remember that one. Or, in fact, I think it was EA in general.
Yeah.
Because there's a couple games that you could download some stuff for.
Yep. I think that's right. Oh, well, and part of the I'm a collector of a lot of things. Not so much games like you are, but I still have my original Halo 3 game fuel that I bought. it's that badass aluminum can.
Yeah.
And it's out in my garage right now.
I actually, for a while there, I got into a habit of collecting all the monster cans because I wanted to decorate my kitchen with them. I just never did it, and they're still sitting up there in a pile. But one of them is the Call of Duty Ghosts.
Oh, that's
one.
cool.
And I know they did Assassin's Creed when Origins came out, and I liked those as well. Another bit of news here that's going over. I mentioned Arkham, so it's actually a neat little segue. Warner Brothers has become the new publisher of Hitman.
Ooh, that's really interesting to me because I haven't played Hitman as much as a lot of people, but I would really like to see that franchise go super mainstream to where it's actually competing with other, if Call of Duty and a new Hitman game get released on the same day, I would like to see a Hitman game actually compete with major AAA titles,
I've always enjoyed the Hitmans. They did get a little dry there for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
I also played and loved Absolution. I didn't pick it up. I actually got that on PS Plus a long time ago. And I was like, man, this is amazing. Why didn't I buy this? And then, of course, like Square Enix got a hold of it. But they just sold, Square just sold IO Interactive. And they didn't sell, they let them go away. And like, okay, yeah, we don't want to own you anymore. Bye. And then and their negotiations, they got to keep Hitman. And that is awesome because that was theirs before they went in.
Right.
And Square could have easily said, you go. We're keeping Hitman.
Yep.
But they didn't. They let them keep it, and that's awesome because now that's their property, and it's been their property for 20 years. They could keep it going. The last one they actually did a seasonal where they released one map at a time. And that was it was 5 episodes or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But now you can get them all as like a contained pack.
Cool.
But from what I understand, it that one map would give you like 5 to 6 hours worth of gameplay, worth of different ways you can accomplish things, and also different missions in that one. It wasn't just here's this house, go kill some dude. It was here's this bigger map.
It's an actual environment.
Yeah. That's
cool.
And so I've been wanting to pick it up for a long time, and the price just isn't going down under $30.
Mm-hmm.
So when it does, when the whole complete cycle does go down, I will pick it up. But I am excited because this is another thing for Warner Brothers to hang their hat on because they've already got the Shadow, Mordor, and War series, and then they published the Witcher games, or at least they did the last one.
Yes. I don't think they did the first 2. They just did the last one. I think.
You wonder if they're going to work with CD Projekt Red with Cyberpunk.
I would hope so. For a long time, I've kind of been a Bethesda, CD Projekt Red, and BioWare fanboy. And then, when BioWare initially got involved with EA, I was like, okay, we might be getting our games a little faster. It's BioWare, so the quality can't falter because, BioWare does nothing but piss excellence when they wake up every day. So this will be all right. And then, unfortunately, that I was completely and utterly wrong there, but I really dig CD Projekt Red because they're all kind of grassroots type people.
Yeah.
It started as a really small studio in Poland in a guy's garage, and they blew the hell up because they all really love what they're doing and they have passion. And they have something that a lot of major game developers don't have, and it's accountability. If they make a mistake, they own up and accept the mistakes that they've made, and they rectify those very quickly. Bethesda does that too, not near as fast, but so.
As with all podcasts, a part of the Journey to Comics Network, you're going to hear, such things such as dogs and kids and other things that happen within the house because we lack an actual big studio, which I would love to have one day. But
when one of us wins the lottery, we'll get it.
Oh, damn it. We're getting that damn studio. It is happening.
Anyway, yeah, if they are going to... I lost my train of thought, but it's really cool that that Warner Brothers is doing more.
Apparently, they're going to release Hitman, the definitive edition, on May 18th.
Ooh, that's cool. I might actually pick that up then.
So,
because I unfortunately did not grab it when it was on PlayStation Plus, and I obviously didn't buy it when it launched. So if I can get everything, I love those definitive editions.
The definitive edition will be released for PS4 and Xbox One with Pro and X enhanced versions, and will include the entirety of Season 1, the Game of the Year content, Summer Bonus Episode, Blood Money Requiem Pack, and the IO 20th Anniversary Outfit Bundle.
Hell yeah.
So the latter adds extra outfits for 47, themed after IO's other IPs, Freedom Fighters, Kane and Lynch, and Mini Ninjas.
Cool.
Freedom Fighters, man, I love that game.
I did too. I really dug it.
Can you imagine a more modern Freedom Fighters with like a different engine that kind of? Because I mean, I went back to play it like a long time ago, and I'm like, man, this is a little bit more clunky than what I remembered. But it would just be awesome. And then, of course, my app completely crashed. Thankfully, I only got one more item of news on this one, and that is that we are getting definitely a Spyro the Dragon remaster. Apparently, there was a leak, and Spyro, the Reignited Trilogy, has been officially announced. And you can watch the debut trailer along with the exclusive. You can go there and check that out. Basically, Activision listed it, and Activision owns Spyro and Crash.
Mm-hmm.
My God.
Yeah, once Crash was available, man, they took it, and now I don't know that anybody will. I as much as I would love to see Naughty Dog get Crash back, because I want studios to keep their stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I want BioWare to keep its stuff. I want Naughty Dog to keep its stuff. Activision, obviously Activision has a lot of IPs. By all means, keep your stuff. You don't need to buy everybody else's stuff. Partner with some people. Maybe I would like to see Activision and EA and the big companies like that maybe move more towards the investor route. Mm-hmm. And say we're gonna throw a decent amount of capital your direction. We obviously want you to keep doing what you're doing. Keep your schedule. We're here just to collect a paycheck when you do stuff. But unfortunately, that's not the world that we live in right now.
No, it's all about owning IP.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently, the Reunited Trilogy is being developed by Skylander Studios' Toys for Bob, and will be released on September 21st. That's the day before my birthday. And, of course, so that's another September release, because I just read that the new Dragon Quest is coming out in September. Shadow of the Tomb Raider is coming out in September.
Mm-hmm. I need to get the second one done and over with, because when it launched, I was like, because I loved the first one. Yeah. I loved it, and I bought it when it had its remaster on PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
So I got everything with it, and then when the second one was announced, of course I'm going to buy this, but I'll just wait until, the definitive edition comes out where I have everything. And that edition came out, it's got the really cool anniversary box art and stuff like that, and I just have not picked it up. I had an opportunity to buy it for like $20, and I said, I'll get it in a couple days, and I went back and it was gone. And then I was like, well, I'll just order it off Amazon. And it was double the price. Yeah. Because it had like a price drop and then an immediate price hike, like a lot of stuff does on Amazon.
Yeah, dude. All right, so I was so anxious to play that, I actually bought it for the Xbox One. I really remember playing it right after I went to day shift. Mm-hmm. And I remember getting to coax on, I don't remember if it was a weekday or if it was a Saturday. I'm just sitting there, I'm working along. It's well after 6:00. We're already working, man. And it's like maybe like 18 after, and the dude walks up and goes, Brando, do you want coax? And I went, huh?
Yes.
And so I said, absolutely. And I got out of there, went home, still had a few hours to just chill back in the game room and play. And that I was working my way through that game, and basically, the easiest way to explain it, and I've said this to Mike, it's more of the first and a little bit more. They give you the areas like you have some of the areas like you had in the first game, and then you'll go to a point where it just goes
and blows up a little bit.
And there's a big area, and you have to go search all the way around and find stuff, and of course to do all your side quests, and then that'll lead you to an area, and then you'll come back here, and then you go over here, and it almost splinters off in a couple of different areas, and then you go over and you go over here and then down this path, and then it goes to another big area. So you have a couple of really big areas in the game.
Cool.
And it allows you to kind of like get up high and look around and maybe hunt a little bit and do your thing.
Yeah, if the second one is anything like the first one, I'm gonna love it no matter what.
Yeah,
you know,
it is exactly like it's same gameplay, same everything.
Cool.
And I dug it, and I cannot wait to play that. I'm so happy they're making a third because they said, "Oh yeah, we're happy with the sales," but it like did not sell nearly. Just like kind of like what I said. With certain titles or certain things needing to meet a certain number in order for them to say it's successful.
Yeah, it could be a hot seller, and if it doesn't meet their sales number by 100 units, it's a failure.
We'll see. While it was exclusive to the Xbox One, it sold like almost 3 million copies, and with the Xbox One, we don't know the numbers of that console because they don't release the numbers anymore.
Right.
There's a reason. But like the last time that we had heard, and it was a couple years back, was like 30 million. So that seems like it's a small number of people who bought the game. That's still almost 3. When you consider that what they would consider a really big success is if it sold 6 or 7. In fact, for Mass Effect Andromeda, they wanted like 10, and they got 3 or 4. And we don't know the final number for Andromeda. But that got released for 3 systems. It came out for PC,
right?
And you know what? They actually came out with a 360 version of Rise of the Tomb Raider.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's actually worth more than the Xbox One
because they didn't push as many units.
Yep.
That's cool.
It's a neat little collector's item to get. But we were talking about PS Plus, and I got it wasn't a PS Plus thing that I got the first Tomb Raider on the reboot. Well, back when I sold all my stuff and rebought the Mass Effect trilogy on PS3, and then I had to buy all the DLC again.
Right, which is unfortunate.
It is what it is. But me selling all my stuff allowed me to get a 3DS, a couple games, the Mass Effect trilogy, and like a $50 gift card, which got me, I think, all but one DLC, and I picked that up later to finish it off. However, if you spent $50, you got 10. So like I spent my $50 gift card, and I got 10, and then they were having a half-off deal, and this is like about a month after that game came out. So $30 digital. $10 off, $20. And then for $20 after a month after it came out, I picked that damn game up, and I'm like, if I hate it, it's $20.
Right.
And it was the best $20 I've ever spent.
Cool.
I absolutely loved it. It got to a point where then I got the PS4 remaster, and then of course they did the exclusive thing. So I'm like, I'm not waiting, and I went and bought it. So I have one over here, one over there. So it's like on this last one, where do I go? I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I'm not sure if I'm going to reunite the PlayStation one and go rebuy another copy of Rise or not.
I'm probably just going to do the second 2 titles on Xbox. That anniversary edition box art is just so cool. And I have a 1S and a 4K TV, so I can play in above 1080p.
Yeah.
So with as good as the first game looked on my regular PS4, it can only look that much better on my Xbox.
Right.
So
the reason why I brought that up is because every month here we try to like look at PS Plus games, Xbox games of gold, kind of try to compare them and see which one's the better one, but also just let you know if you got any of these services, go pick up your free games, man. They are free to you. So
Yeah, and you don't even have to download them. You just have to
redeem them.
Yep, redeem it, and then you can download it 5 years down the road if you want to.
Exactly. As long as you're a member I do believe you get to keep the 360 games, even if you're not a live member.
Okay.
But for the Xbox One and for all the PS Plus ones, you actually have to be a member to get access to it. If you cancel your membership and you come back, you still have access to it.
Yep, I accidentally let my PS Plus membership lapse a couple months ago for like 3 days. And I was like, shit, I lost. I had like 10 PS Plus games. I went back. I didn't have to re-download any of them. I just had to boot them up, and it updated a couple of them. But that's really cool because if you figure I have 10 PS Plus games, that's $200. If you figure at $20 a pop. I mean,
when I first got PS Plus for the PS3, I actually got it because they had an instant games collection where they had a big list of stuff, and you had your games that were there for the month, but you also had this like list of games that were there, and one of them was Uncharted for the PS Vita.
Oh, that's cool.
And we had a Vita. We had like one game for it, and I'm like, I want to play Uncharted on there, and I'm like, so that game's like $40. This game's here. And I'm like, well, that's your price right there. Because back then it was just $50, So, if you haven't yet checked it out for PS4, Mad Max is available. I've heard nothing but great things about Mad Max. I never got a chance to play it. It came out at a time where I was playing something else.
I bought that game on Amazon, I think, for $29 a year and a half, 2 years ago, and I played the hell out of it. I put like 95 hours into that game. It's open world. It's Mad Max, which is one of my favorite movie franchises of all time, and the story is very close to the Fury Road movie.
Okay.
It kind of plays along a lot of the same lines as that, but it also has a lot from the original trilogy. The guy that did the voice acting for Max, I of course can't remember his name, but he did a really good job as Max. You get to delve into a character that is very vague in the movies. So you get a little bit of character backstory and more development, and the NPCs in the game are very well done. The villains are very well done. And, you're playing in post-apocalyptic Australia, which is, a good portion of Australia is a wasteland in itself anyway. So the environments are beautiful. Everything's really well done. The weather elements are fantastic. So I paid $29 for that game. I would pay $29 for that game time and time again, and you have the option to get it for free now.
Yep.
So definitely, if you're on the fence about downloading PS Plus games, I don't know why you would be.
Free.
They're free.
Even if they're bad, they're free. You could be the judge for yourself.
That's right. Definitely get Mad Max.
Trackmania Turbo for the PS4. Now for the PS3. In Space We Brawl. Never heard of it, but it sounds enticing. Toy Home. Never heard of it.
Never heard of it.
And then for the Vita, we have 99 Vitas. You don't get 99 PS Vitas. It's like 99 VIDAS. Never heard of it. But this next one is for all three platforms. PS3, PS4, and PS Vita. Qbert rebooted.
That's cool.
So Qbert back with us here, and now we're going to go over to the other side because we got 4 games over here. 2 for the tripped over myself. 2 for the Xbox One, 2 for the 360 backwards compat. The first one is The Witness, which I want to say is that one where you're solving puzzles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I downloaded that the other day.
And so then the next one, Assassin's Creed Syndicate.
So the other day we were having a discussion about Assassin's Creed, or we had a small discussion about Assassin's Creed Origins and how much I love that game. They revamped the franchise, did their own reboot, and Origins is fantastic. But right before I picked up Origins, I waited until mid-holiday season. At GameStop had it on sale for $29. Mm-hmm. So I went in there and picked it up for $29. But right before that, I bought Syndicate. I bought it brand new at GameStop, I think for $12, $12 or $13. And it was kind of the one that got forgot about.
Yeah.
And it was really, really well done. You know, it's the same Assassin's Creed format pre-Origins, where you're all the games are the same. They're just the storylines are altered, and they add more and more side quests and more collectibles that you can get. But the story was actually well done for an Assassin's Creed game, and especially because it's free. Get it because it's free.
Yeah, absolutely. The thing here, guys, is that, as you said, that's pre-Origins reboot type thing. This is after Unity, which was horribly bad when it came out. So many bugs, so many just terrible things about that game,
which have still not entirely been fixed.
That's ridiculous.
Yep.
But that right there just shows you they said, throw the hat in, done.
Well, and the sad thing is, I bought Unity, way after all the bug controversy, and then I found out that the bugs are still there and not entirely fixed, but the game wasn't broken. It was playable, and Unity was another one that got forgot about, and I really enjoyed it. You know, the French Revolutionary time. That's a really interesting time in history, and you know the protagonist is a little bit weak, but it's an Assassin's Creed game. I have the same outlook I do with like most of the Assassin's Creed games that I do with a lot of movie franchises. We as fans have our expectations set way too high, I think. They're Assassin's Creed games. They're not, you know, it's not a BioWare game where it's entirely story driven and your life is going to be changed by playing the game. Just enjoy it for what it is and have a good time.
Last up are the two 360 backwards compatible games, completely playable on Xbox One. Cars 2, the video game.
Be cool if you had kids that were playing video games, I guess.
This next one's not a kid game. Dead Space 2.
Hell yeah.
I would have to say, I think Xbox takes it. As much as I dig Mag Max, and I think that's a really big title for them. Mm-hmm. Really big title. And so far, the PS4 this year has been like they've been digging into their back catalog of what's been a bigger level title.
Well, they gave Metal Gear Solid 5 away not long ago, you know.
MGS5, and then Knack, and then Bloodborne, Mad Max. Of course, they announced that as of next March, they're not doing any more PS3 or Vita games. They're just doing PS4, which might tell you something about a certain thing, rumor that we were talking about today, about maybe a next-gen system coming out within the next year or two. We'll see. I don't really have the information on that, or maybe we would talk about that. But we are going to talk about upcoming games. Let's not go too far in the future. We're going to just focus on what's coming out for April and May. So, we're about the time this comes out, I think we're halfway through May. But
halfway through April.
That thing, yeah. No, we're not releasing this episode that far in the future. April. So, April 10th was Extinction. Yakuza 6.
I've heard really good things about that game series. I've just never gotten into it.
Same. From what I understand, it's like Shenmue plus more fighting. But not as like wander aroundy and like bad voice acting.
Right.
Let me just go back to Extinction. That's coming out for PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Yakuza 6 is coming out exclusively to PS4.
What is Extinction?
I don't know. I just have a list.
I'm going to do a research real quick.
Total War Saga, Thrones of Britannia. Doesn't tell me what system that comes out for. That's April 19th. Also for April 19th for PS4 and Vita, Metal Max Xeno. Then on April 20th, good old 420, God of War, PS4. The new God of War, very, very interesting. I think what I'm going to do with God of War, guys, is I'm going to wait to the holiday season. I'm not the biggest God of War fan. I do enjoy them. This one looks like it's fun. I'm loving the revamped style. I'm loving the look. Especially, what's really going to make my mind up for me is if this comes out and it's just heralded. Because I'll be honest with you, I still never picked up Horizon. It was never a game, like everyone's talking about how great it was, and I'm like, it looks cool.
I just haven't had time. You know, much like I said with the Tomb Raider thing, I was going to wait until after Horizon came out,
Yeah.
and then they did the DLC, and then they're going to release a definitive edition with all the DLC and the updates and all that stuff. And now that they've released that, I'm like, cool. Every year on Black Friday or right around the holidays, I buy a bunch of games because they're all on sale. This holiday season will probably be when I pick Horizon up.
I still haven't bought it, and I don't want to say this in a bad way. I don't really feel like I'm missing out. I've heard so many people talk about it that I'm like, all right.
You kind of played it vicariously through
in a
other
way,
people.
In a way, and it's like I do want to play it at some point, but like the concept doesn't really interest me that much. So it's like, okay, maybe someday, sure. Nintendo Labos start rolling out.
Real quick before we get into Nintendo Labos.
Did you look up at Extinction?
Extinction is the game that was announced last year, I believe, where it had the human-sized man jumping through the air, Attack on Titan style, fighting the giant like ogre or orc critter. It's like Killer Instinct meets Shadow of the Colossus is the way that it's talked about. I'll show you a picture here, and you might recognize it.
Oh, okay.
Remember in the original teaser, he's like cutting the arms off of the giant thing, and then.
Oh yeah.
So that's Extinction. That actually looks cool. I mean, I don't know if that I'm gonna pick that up on launch day, but that might be one that I run up to Family Video and rent for a weekend.
And also it may come up on a flash sale sometime. Nintendo Labos coming out variety kit and the robot kit on April 20th. This is really weird and completely out of like not even left field. This is like out of like the it's not even the same damn sport at this point. I don't know what it is, but it is definitely something quirky that Nintendo would do as far as like going back to the old NES with the Rob the Robot and that kind of stuff. And my only thing is it's freaking cardboard. And kids, I can't get this for my kid because he tears up like real quality durable toys. He somehow finds ways to break those. He's going to rip this cardboard to shreds.
Do you think it was like some guy at Nintendo for like the last 15 or 20 years? This guy's a longtime employee. And like every time they have like a roundtable meeting, they're throwing ideas out.
He's been pitching this thing.
He's been pitching this thing for like 20 years, and they're like, "We'll get to you. We're gonna do that, but not right now." And finally, they had enough of a changing of the guard or something, or they said, "We'll get you if you're still with the company in 2018." And 2018 gets here, and he's like, "Hey, you told me that we could do this."
And they're like,
"Oh God, yeah, okay, we'll do it." The sad thing is, though, this is going to sell a lot, especially in Japan.
Oh, yeah.
And it's cardboard. Come on now.
It's quirky, but, I mean, the whole piano one looks kind of neat.
There was a lot of them that looked really neat. I don't know. Obviously, I don't have a Switch, and you and I have talked about when I'm going to pick mine up, but I don't know that's really something that I would be interested in purchasing.
I don't want to go out and spend the money for it because
it's cardboard.
You're buying the game. And then you got to buy the cardboard, and it's like $80 for cardboard. Come on, guys! Adventure Time, Pirates of the Ecridian and Shiridian. I don't know these things.
I can't even help you.
That word. Exactly.
Enchiridion?
Enchiridion.
That's
Pirates
what
of the
I'm gonna go
Enchiridion. Oh, Pirates of the Caribbean, Enchiridion. I get it. Coming to the PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC, April 24th. Also that day, South Park: The Fractured Butthole coming to the Switch.
That's cool.
Yeah, I really hope they bring the other one over as well. Those are great games. Fantastic. Very well worth a playthrough. I replayed through
Stick of Truth?
Stick of Truth right before Fractured Butthole. And I enjoyed it.
I bought the copy that came with the Stick of Truth.
Okay, yeah.
And I talked about when I did the backlog episode last year. I just haven't had time. I've put 150 hours into Monster Hunter. I haven't had time to do anything else.
The Fractured Butthole is such a South Park ending. It is like so deflating. Like, it makes you feel like you've just wasted your time.
Hell yeah.
110%. And people were pissed off about it. I'm like, it ended, and literally, like, it's like, and it's like,
I just watched an episode of South Park.
And I'm like, she goes, was that it? I'm like, yeah. And then I'm laughing because, of course, that's how this would end.
Right.
Because that's South Park.
Didn't they just announce DLC for that also?
Yes, they did. Casa Bonita or something like that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, they. I really do hope both of them come to the Switch. I probably won't rebuy them. I kind of got those. I bought the Stick of Truth on the 360, and then I did get the Xbox One version. But the Stick of Truth is backwards compatible, and but now if you're a PS4 owner, you can now get that other one, Stick of Truth. And
that's cool.
I do hope it comes out to the Switch as well. Going into May, we got some retrospectives or reissues, remasters. Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze coming to the Switch on May 4th.
I'm kind of mad that I bought my copy for the Wii U now that they're bringing it out on the Switch, because I would have bought it on the Switch when I got my Switch in a couple months.
When I saw they were starting to, like, they brought on Mario Kart 8, I said they're going to bring every single one of these over. Because when you think about it, they've already outsold the Wii U. Mm-hmm. There's going to be a lot more people who buy the Switch, and a lot more people who have never played Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze or Mario Kart 8. Or, I mean, there's a lot of people who have, but now there's even more people who have, and that was, a lot of people criticized The Last of Us remaster. I said, it makes perfect sense. The biggest game at the end of the PS3 that so many Xbox 360 players never played.
And that's part of the reason that I bought my PlayStation 4.
Exactly.
I knew they were doing that between Bloodborne and the Last of Us remaster. Those two games are the entire reason that I bought my PlayStation. So
Conan Exiles coming to PS4, Xbox One, and PC.
Is that the MMO type game?
Honestly, I don't know.
I think it is.
Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire coming to PC. Dragon's Crown Pro coming to PS4. Little Witch Academia Chamber of Time PS4 and PC. Oh, I haven't been saying the dates. Conan Exiles May 8th. Pillars of Eternity 2 May 8th. Dragon's Crown and Little Witch are May 15th. Shin Megami Tensei Strange Journey Redux 3DS on May 15th. Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition Switch is coming out May 18th. Little Nightmares Complete Edition for the Switch May 18th. State of Decay 2.
I really enjoyed the first one when it came out on 360. I played the hell out of it.
Did you? I wanted to play it, and then this one looks like it's going to improve.
Yes.
That's coming to Xbox One and PC on May 18th. Mega Man Legacy Collection is coming to the Switch finally on May 22nd.
That's cool.
Then we have, I want to say that might be both of them combined.
Really?
Yeah, not just the first one.
That makes me really
Legacy
happy.
Legacy Collection, because there's the first one, Legacy 1 and 2. Mm-hmm. I want to say that it is, in fact, all
That's
10.
awesome.
Tennis World Tour, May 22nd, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. Dylan's Dead Heat Breakers 3DS on May 24th. Dark Souls Remastered, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, PC, May 25th.
That's the big one for me. Detroit
Become Human, PS4, May 25th. I'm getting that game. I may not get it here, but I'm getting it. I'm going to probably get it, but sometime between the launch and shutdown, so I can play it for shutdown.
Mm-hmm.
And then Everspace, PS4, May 29th.
Detroit will probably be another one that I wait until, the Black Friday holiday season time.
Yeah.
I see that one doing very well, but also dropping in price very quickly after the hype the hype kind of dries up. I've been really, really excited to play that, but Dark Souls Remaster comes out, and just the first game, with NG Plus, I beat that game 48 plus times. So I'm a FromSoft / Namco Bandai fanboy. So my body is ready. I've been waiting for that for a long time.
Right on. Well, I do believe that's kind of all the new stuff we got left to talk about. So I want to thank you guys for checking out this episode of the Game X podcast. We normally do like recommendations, but it's kind of hard to when I haven't been buying anything or playing anything else other than Skyrim. And then so like to dig, also check this story. So I got a new phone, guys. So here's one of my pickups. I got the Galaxy S9 Plus. All my apps transferred over. Cool.
You did the Samsung Smart Switch,
yeah,
and it just pulled everything over.
Game Eye was my game collection app.
Oh, okay.
It keeps track of everything. Look at my massive game collection.
Oh shit!
Do you believe that's a big fat zero?
It didn't. You don't have like an account.
What it does is that you create save points, and I haven't done one in a long time.
That sucks, man.
So I either have to find one that I did.
Do you still have your old phone?
No.
Damn it.
I know.
Because I was gonna say you might be able to pull it up on your old phone and and then hit save and that sucks.
I didn't even open up the games collection thing until after I set my old phone back.
Damn it.
Yeah, I know. So either, dude, that took me like a week to do. Like after work, I would go back. I would put it on the YouTube videos, and I would scan, or I would have to type in manually each one. What do I have? Case, manual, condition, and I've got over 850 now.
I will help you catalog your games for $3 a game.
Oh my, no, because some of those I even bought for less than that.
Right.
But
oh, that sucks, dude.
It does. But you know what? I'm going to throw this one out there. I don't know if I've ever said this one, but one of the games that I loved playing on the original Game Boy when I was a little kid, a game I got with it, was Ninja Turtles Fall of the Foot Clan.
Ah, God, I had that one. I love that one.
And it's that side-scroller beat-em-up.
Yep.
And I don't have it anymore because I've just been...
I think I might actually still have it.
That's awesome because I had it. I never got rid of it, but I don't know where it is. Probably at my mom's house somewhere. Like probably got tossed away.
Buried in a box somewhere.
But like it's only like $5 or so. I just haven't bought it. I do have the third one, I think, on Game Boy, which is kind of cool because they've enhanced it. But no, that first one where I just play the crap out of it, and it's completely freaking awesome.
It's really sad that Ninja Turtles has kind of fallen out of grace.
Yeah.
You know, Ninja Turtles used to be so badass, and now it's...
Because, you know, one of my favorite games of all time for the 16-bit era is Turtles in Time. Mm-hmm. I love Turtles in Time.
Oh, yeah.
Love that game. Anyway, that's my recommendation. Fall of the Foot Clan on Game Boy.
Mine would be still Monster Hunter World.
There you go.
I've said it multiple times on this episode. I've put Blaine and I each, not collectively, not together, we have each put in over 150 hours.
Can you say that this is the biggest release that they've had ever?
As far as Capcom?
Yeah. No, as far as Monster Hunter.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, when we did the Monster Hunter episode, we talked about how a lot of the Monster Hunter games, especially kind of in the middle of their game lineup, was very Japan specific, and then America or North America and Europe was an afterthought. This is the first one that they have done for everybody, and they've invested so many resources and so much time to give the fans everything that we've always wanted and a little bit more without sacrificing anything. The environments look beautiful. The gameplay is still what it was in 2004, and it is still fantastic. They've improved on everything that they kind of all the different little paths that they took when they were going through the Vita and the 3DS, the handheld generations. They've improved on everything. The monster roster is fantastic, and they've kind of stuck to their guns. You know, we are gonna consistently give you guys DLC that is free.
That's awesome. And
that you're going to enjoy. So I can't recommend the game enough. Even if you're new to the franchise, this game is accessible, and you will not be confused when you boot the game up. It explains everything from start to finish, and it's a really good time.
Awesome. Well, again, like you, ain't got no time.
Nope.
Ain't got no time. No time at all. But I mean, that's awesome that the game is doing well, and that it is the biggest one that they've had. Because I've heard that it sold really well.
Well, like last month, so the game dropped January 26th. By the end of February, the beginning of March, it had already become the fastest selling game that Capcom has ever released in their entire history.
That's cool.
That's big for Capcom, with things like Mega Man and Resident Evil, Dino Crisis, all the badass stuff that Capcom's done, and this game has smoked them all. Yeah. As far as the amount of copies sold that fast.
That's cool.
So I don't know if it'll hold up in the long run, but people are still buying the hell out of it.
Cool.
So
that's awesome. Well, once again, thank you guys for checking out this episode. Tyler, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And of course, you can check us out all over the webs. We're on podcast services across the globe, including iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher Radio. We're on Spotify. We're on all sorts of stuff, man. Of course, you can also check us out on YouTube. No, not any more video for now, but we got some older video. And, of course, all the episodes are going up there anyway. So, that's where you want to check us out, go do that as well.
What if you live on the Flat Earth Ice Wall?
If you're over there on the Flat Earth Ice Wall and you have access to any sort of like Wi-Fi capabilities, I would recommend that you download like the Podbean app. Because they're our hosts, they're gracious, they're awesome. They plugged us. We have so many followers. We have got almost 650 followers just on Podbean. Mm-hmm. Subscribers that get our episodes every single week. And of course, I want to thank every single buddy. I want to thank every single person who downloaded our show in Sudan. Thank you so much. Big shout out to you guys, man. You guys made my week and a half that you guys were downloading all of our crap.
Hell yeah.
Especially that one episode that you guys dug that got for some reason that one episode went semi-viral in Sudan, or what I could probably consider to be viral in Sudan. I don't know. I don't live over there. I am not privy to how the definition of viral is over there, but thank you guys so much.
Normally it's AIDS or Ebola.
Oh my goodness.
I had to say it. I couldn't help it.
My goodness. So with that being said, we will see you next time on the Game Addicts podcast. Until then, I've been Brando.
I've been Tyler.
Game on, guys.
Sorry, Sudan. I couldn't help it. You didn't even open the door. You touched the handle, and I just kicked it down.
That's like in Resident Evil when they had that loading door thing. Mm-hmm. That's and then something interrupting the loading sequence and scaring the crap out of you.
Yep.
That's exactly what you did. So thank you guys. We'll see you next time. Have a good one. Later.